Good evening and welcome to the July 15th, 2024 Eugene City Council public hearing. Thank you for joining us in this hybrid meeting format. Anyone wishing to access the meeting can do so by watching the live stream available on our website, the broadcast on Comcast Channel 21, or by following the instructions listed for this meeting on the public webcast and meeting materials webpage. There is one public hearing on tonight's agenda. Please note that members of the public who sign up to testify may speak only on the topic that is the subject of the stated hearing. For those wishing to testify during the public hearing, please fill out a request to speak form available on the city's public webcast and meeting materials webpage. These request to speak forms will be used to generate the order of speakers and correctly enter the speakers' names into the public record, and we'll accept those until 5:35. For those wishing to provide testimony by phone who are unable to complete the request to speak form online, press *9, and the last 3 digits of your phone number will be added to the speaker's queue. And we don't have a lot of people in the audience, so I'm not sure I'm worried about rules of conduct, but no signs, flags, no disrespectful language, and we ask you to keep the room quiet. Okay, I'm going to just move right into the public hearing. Open the public hearing, Downtown Riverfront Sign Code Amendment, and I'll turn to the city manager to introduce it.
Thank you, Mayor. With the goal of better urban design and wayfinding, this code amendment would allow additional projecting signs on buildings on some parcels in the Downtown Riverfront Special Area Zone. Current regulations would, in many cases, limit the relatively large buildings in the downtown riverfront to a single projecting sign. This code amendment would not have an impact on other sign regulations nor other zones. This is a quasi-judicial process public hearing which limits the evidence and testimony that council can use in making its decision. The Eugene Planning Commission unanimously voted to support the code amendment after their hearing on June 11th. We have staff here if you have questions about it. Otherwise, thank you.
Thank you. So the City Council's role in this process is to approve with modifications, or deny the application. The decision-making process for this application is considered quasi-judicial, so we will use a quasi-judicial format for this public hearing. To start, do any councilors need to disclose any bias, conflicts of interest, ex parte communications, or abstentions pursuant to EC 9.7065? Seeing none. Have staff received any challenges to a councilor's impartiality submitted pursuant to Eugene Code Section 9.70655?
No, I believe we have not.
Okay, great. Testimony at this public hearing should be directed toward the applicable approval criteria at Eugene Code Section 9.8065 or any other criteria that the speaker believes apply to the decision. The failure of anyone to raise an issue accompanied by statements or evidence sufficient to afford the City Council and parties an opportunity to respond will preclude appeals on that issue. If you would like to receive future notice of this application and become an interested party, please provide your name and mailing address with your testimony or reach out to staff with this information. Okay, now I actually open the public hearing, and I understand we're joined by the applicant's representative, Will Dowdy, and so invite you to make a statement.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor, City Council. My name is Will Dowdy. I'm the city's Community Development Director, and as the city is the applicant, I'm here as the representative of the applicant. And I am just here to say at this point, thank you for your consideration of this, and I'm available throughout the process as appropriate for questions and comments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Cherish, do we have anyone else who has signed up to speak?
Thank you, Mayor. The forum just closed, and there are no signups, no speakers to this hearing.
All right, and obviously no staff response to that, no rebuttal. Okay, so I will now close the public hearing. A council can either choose to close the record for this application tonight or leave it open for a period of time following the public hearing. Since action on this item isn't scheduled until September, the city manager has recommended that council leave the record open for written testimony until 5 p.m. on August 23rd, 2024. If council is interested in leaving the record open, a motion is included in your packet. And so I will turn to to the council president.
Thank you, Mayor. I do have some questions,
Okay.
if appropriate, for staff. The way I understand it right now, Will, the current code allows for one outdoor sign that's illuminated that we're referencing as a projected sign. Is that accurate? And this revision would allow for one potentially per side. Is that an accurate statement? A building could have 4?
I can address that. Thank you for the question, Councilor. My name's Dylan Huber-Hydorn, the City of Eugene's Community Development Division, and I wrote the AIS for this item. Current code restricts signs to 1 sign per building per business occupant, which when there's only a single business occupant, the apartment business entity itself, then these large buildings might have just a single sign. The new code might allow more than 1 sign per side of the building if there are multiple business applicants in that building. If there's still just the 1 business occupant, the apartment entity, then it would just be 1 per side on certain street frontages. These kinds of types of signs are not necessarily illuminated. They're saying projecting signs are defined as any sign that goes more than a certain distance from the wall of the building and it's attached to that wall. I think it's more than 12 inches.
Okay, thank you. Was there any conversation about this being a potential revenue generator? If we're going to expand the number of signs per business, per building, are there any other municipalities who are using such a measure to generate revenue?
Are you referring to something like sign permit fees that they have to apply that they need? It hasn't been discussed. No, I don't know what the sign permit fee cost actually is.
Okay.
It was certainly part of one of the goals to potentially increase revenue for businesses by increasing their visibility, but that's a different matter.
Okay, thank you. Mayor, I have a motion.
Great.
Move to leave the record open for this application and to continue to accept written testimony until 5 p.m. on August 23, 2024.
Second.
Okay, any further questions or discussion? All in favor, please place your votes. Oh, and Alan will have to do so by raising his hand. So Alan, in favor? Is that a yes?
Yes, in favor.
Yes, okay. And so it looks like we have a unanimous support for this. Thank you very much. That passes 8-0. And I think with that, I guess as a reminder, deliberations and possible action on this proposed code amendment are scheduled for September 9th, 2024. So with that, we are adjourned.